Hi, I'm Laura, and welcome back to the Tarot Genie for this week's tarot lesson in the cards of the tarot. Today we're going to cover the Sun card, one of my favorite cards. One reason is because this is one of my personal birth cards. Because of my particular birthday, which actually comes up this week on December 15th, and it's an important, sort of an important birthday, not really, but it's important because it's allowing me to complete my federal career because of my chronological age. We'll just put it that way. But this card is one of my birth cards in the tarot. I also have the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune. But what I've always relished about the Sun card is just that bright, radiant energy that's just emanating from the card. It's a happy card. It's a card, of course, the sun provides the earth with life. If we did not have the sun, we would not be able to survive. Or I forget what the time is, whether it's a day or two. The earth could not survive without the sun. Life would be impossible. But what we have here especially is just the bright energy. We see the sun, and just to clarify some things about the sun. Well, one thing, I like this particular, if you look at the face of the sun here, it reminds me of these plates and these what are they called? Kind of plates that as a child I've seen also in Mexico. I spent some time in Mexico. I'm half Mexican, but I'm an American citizen. I was born in Philadelphia, but the limited time I spent my first few years up until like age 4 in Mexico, and you'd see these decorations with the sun, and the face look very much like this, and it's almost kind of like the Mona Lisa's face, if you look at that, kind of a neutral. But these squiggly lines represent the wavy lines, radiance of the sun, and the straight lines represent of the sun, the light, just light emanating. So that's an important point to bring out. And what we have here too is that child. Just look at that child, how happy. I'm trying to avoid the glare here. The child is open arms. It reminds me of what my favorite spiritual coach always says. You have to open your arms to life. And that's what the Sun card is all about. Just energizing yourself, opening yourself to life, radiating out a high vibration. And we see this banner. It's kind of like a banner of celebration. It's a red color, red orangey, suggesting passion. We've got a clear sky suggesting clarity. And also the sun itself, it could come up in a reading and mean illumination about something, like truth coming out. That's happened with a number of readings where if we're asking about the situation and the Sun card comes out, it could suggest that the truth will come to light. It's definitely one of the things. And also we've got the beautiful sunflowers there, and the wall, kind of the idea of transcending a wall, transcending situations, challenges, and being just free, and how that there's no saddle on the horse, so the child is running as on the horse without a saddle, without the saddle, kind of that free flow of energy and being able to ride without a saddle. And the nakedness of the child suggests that openness of spirit and innocence. Now, overall, this card is associated, the key concepts are illumination, enlightenment, revelations, that youthful vibe, positivity, joy, optimism, innocence, because we've got that child there. But can this card that appears so positive, can it ever be negative? Well, yes, it can have some limiting an interpretation that can suggest a limiting situation. For example, when it's reversed, it could suggest blind optimism. It could mean naivete, someone not looking, someone just being so blindsided or blind, kind of like blinded by love, not seeing the flaws or not seeing the reality of a situation. They're so blinded, they just can't see all the truths and facts in a particular situation, because nothing is completely positive. Nothing is completely without some challenges. put it that way. So that could be, when it's reversed, it could suggest that. It could also mean blocked joy. Now, I know this card came up reversed one time when I was doing a reading about, I think it was 3 years ago, for a friend, and she was asking about a relationship. And this card came up in a particular position which suggested to me that her natural being is joyful, that she has a lot of joy, but that this particular situation, which it turned out it was blocking her joy. It was not allowing her to fully experience her joy because there were too many issues at play in this particular situation. So it can be blocked joy, something being clouded over, something being hidden. That could be the meaning if it's reversed. Also, if this card falls, if it's upright but it falls in a negative position, it could suggest the same thing: naivete, being too optimistic, being seen through rose-colored glasses, for example. So that would be some ideas there that you need to be aware of. So anytime that, again, as I've said many times, when you look at a card, first tap into how it makes you feel, and then examine all the symbols in it and how they resonate with you in particular, what they remind you of, because you're going to come up, yes, there are the basic meanings associated with each card, but you want to also come up with your own interpretations and things that the symbols trigger in you. That's what is important. So we've got the sunflowers. It is a very sunny side up eggs, it reminds me of. And one of the reason I associate with this card, or resonate with this card, I should say, is that I grew up with a parent, a single parent, who is well, she's a little bit mellowed out now, but in an environment that was often pessimistic, I'll put it like that. And inwardly, though, I always felt that life was meant to be a lot, that it's meant to be joyful. I thought life is really meant to be joyful. And so I kind of was at loggerheads with my parent in that situation, with my mother. So that's why when I see something this sunny and bright, I just am immediately drawn to it. And it's why my uncle, her younger brother, he has always been my favorite relative, because he is the master of optimism. And my mother said when he was born smiling. So I've always been drawn to him. He's still the exact same way at age 88. I think he just turned 88. And despite having lost his wife of many years just a few months ago, he's still very upbeat. He still makes the most of his life. So that's what, for me, the Sun card is all about, is opening your arms to life, making the most of life, being enlightened, shedding light on a situation, and just being the best person and self that you can be. Now, the songs for this week are, of course, Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. I'll put that in. And also a more recent one, although still a little bit old, is Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves. That's another good song associated with the Sun card. And I will put in the show notes a tarot book to recommend for you this week. Didn't have a chance to do it before the video. So until next time, remember, illumine your mind, inspire your life with the tarot.